Welcome back. This is Shankar, your instructor for Statistics for Business 1.
And I'm Liza, his partner in stats.
Exactly. We have a confusing block of numbers. How do we distinguish between the different countries that make up this mix? What can we say about the spread of the international tourism receipts across the various countries? Those are the questions. How about this? Let's create the same line charts that we did during the last segment, but with all 161 countries.
But that would be chaos.
Exactly my point, Lisa. In fact, I have used an R program to get a quote-unquote clearer picture.
Good God! What's the country on top?
That's the US, of course. Now, if I were to get rid of the US, here's the picture that you have.
Got rid of the white space problem?
Absolutely, Lisa.
But it's still such a mess.
Of course, it is. So you get my point. Not everything can be explained by pictures. What we'll do instead is to quantify every country in the list with a set of measures that we call summary statistics. Now, each summary measure reduces a large amount of data, in our case, the row of receipts for a country, into one single number. Did you get that? Let's start with our three countries. Loosely speaking, Ireland is similar to India, whereas Italy is separate from India and Ireland. It's head and shoulders above both of them. Now, this is behind the statistical notion of location or centrality. If we were to rank these three countries, the topper is clear as daylight.
But what about positions 2 and 3?
Aha! Tricky, right? One way to settle this question is to calculate and compare the average receipts for every country. We obtain this average by summing up the receipts across a row and dividing by 16, which is the number of years between 1995 and 2010. You may know this as the arithmetic mean, or in statistical parlance, the mean. There's a neat spreadsheet function to do this. It's simply called average.
You mean it's not MEAN mean? How mean?
I understand. So let's get back to our spreadsheet now. Now, before I proceed, let me go ahead and do a little bit of cleanup. I noticed that 2010 is my last year, so I'll go ahead and hide the remaining columns. And let's begin with the very first country, Albania. So I will create a new column for the mean. And if I were to look at the years, 1995 is at column D and 2010 is at column S. So I will type average of D4 through S4 and I get $760.5 million. That's the average. Now let's replicate this computation across all of the countries and then sort them by the descending order of their average receipts. So I get back to my column containing the mean, and I would like to sort the countries in the descending order of the average tourism receipts. The highest one being $122.8 billion. And this here is the top 15 countries based on such averages. Now, getting back to our earlier question, we see that India is ranked only slightly higher than Ireland, 4 ranks away. So if we now look at the averages column, at row 32 is about 6.3 billion and at row 36 is about $5.5 billion. Now let's look at the range of these average receipts. At the top is the United States with as high as $122.8 billion. And if I were to scroll down all the way to the bottom, it's just $2 million. That's with a capital M. With such a wide range, we'd imagine that the halfway mark would be around $122 billion minus $2 million divided by 2. Let's be generous, $60 to $61 billion, right?
What's our halfway country?
It's easy, Lisa. It's that country with 80 countries above it and 80 countries below it in terms of average receipts. I need the 81st country starting from the United States. So 4 plus 80 is 84. So our halfway country is Lithuania. Now this country, it figures out, has $721 million in average receipts, which falls wildly short of our prediction of $60 to $61 billion.
Haha, $60 billion?
This is because there is tremendous skew in these averages, which we will talk about later. There's an easy way to get to the middle entry for a set of numbers. It's simply called median. We are looking at the median of this column of numbers here. So I'm going to calculate median of everything in column Y. This is how I can indicate that. And I get 721.4375. Do we have such a number over here? $721 million, because we have knocked off the precision? Yes, of course. And that is row number 84, which is Lithuania. I'm going to bold that one.
How about the median receipts for a country?
Aha! That's a midway point of 16 numbers. Sorted, of course.
Easy. 16 divided by 2 is 8.
But you don't have 8 numbers below and 8 numbers above position number 8.
How about we split the 8th and 9th positions?
You're a genius, Lisa. That's exactly how we get to the median. The numbers must be sorted, of course. And just concentrate on the median of D4 through S4. Now, if a shoe salesman has to place an order, he won't go by the mean size of the shoes that are selling in his store. The most frequently selling size will be what he would like to call as his average size. This number is called the mode. There's even a spreadsheet function by that name. So I create a new column and then I'm going to calculate the mode of D4 through S4. Not to worry, this just means that every number across the row was different. Now let me apply the mode measure to all of the countries. Is it constantly not available or not applicable? Not really. Every once in a while you do find a number there. It just means that across that row, 518, for example, in row 96 had a repeat. Shall we investigate that? So I have 518 against column Q and against column L. So definitely there has been a repeat and perhaps it was the largest number of repeats. You know, Lisa, memory is not my best card. So what was that first question again?
That's easy. How do we distinguish between the different countries that make up our mix?
Aha! This is typical of questions in statistics. They're easy to state but difficult to respond in an unambiguous manner. You can think of distinguishing these countries based on any of the 3 centrality measures that we've just got. And that is your answer.